Picture yourself standing at the gates of eternity. What would you give to know, with absolute certainty, that you're not facing that moment alone? What if I told you that July 16th holds the key to that very promise? Today, I'm going to reveal something that could transform not just your spiritual life, but your eternal destiny itself. July 16th is the feast day of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, and on this sacred day, the Mother of God opens her heart in a way that's unlike any other time of the year. She listens with special tenderness to the prayers of her children who approach her with faith. Consider this. There are 3 specific things you can do on this holy day to receive extraordinary graces, protect your family, and prepare yourself for the most important moment of your life, the day you stand before God. If you have faith in Our Lady of Mount Carmel, write in the comments, "Our Lady of Mount Carmel, protect me with your scapular." Your act of faith helps this message reach more souls who desperately need this protection. Stay with me until the end. Why? Because the third thing I'm going to share with you is the most forgotten by Catholics today, yet it's the one that can bring the most abundant blessings upon you and everyone you love. We're not talking about tradition for tradition's sake. We're talking about accessing supernatural protection that has been promised by heaven itself. Our Lady of Mount Carmel stands apart from other Marian devotions. When she appeared to St. Simon Stock in 1251, she made a promise that echoes through eternity. Whoever dies wearing this scapular shall not suffer eternal fire. Take a moment to absorb that. The Mother of God herself guaranteed protection from hell for those who honor her through this devotion. This July 16th, you have the opportunity to claim that promise and so much more. The 3 things I'm about to share aren't complicated rituals or expensive ceremonies. They're simple, profound acts that any faithful Catholic can perform, yet they carry the power to change everything. They can bring healing to your family, protection to your home, peace to your soul. Most importantly, they can ensure that when your time on earth is finished, you won't face that final moment alone. Are you ready to discover these 3 powerful practices that Our Lady of Mount Carmel is waiting to bless? Let's begin this journey together. Transport yourself to the year 1251. A holy priest named Simon Stock kneels in desperate prayer. The Carmelite order faces persecution and difficulties that seem insurmountable. In that moment of profound need, something miraculous unfolds. The air fills with a heavenly fragrance. Before him appears the most beautiful woman he has ever seen, Our Lady herself. In her hands, she holds a brown scapular, 2 small pieces of cloth connected by strings. But this isn't mere fabric. Heaven itself has crafted an answer to every human fear, every worry about salvation, every concern about eternal security. She speaks words that have given hope to millions. Take this scapular. Whoever dies wearing it shall not suffer eternal fire. It shall be a sign of salvation, a protection in danger, and a pledge of peace and of the covenant. That moment changed everything. From that day forward, the brown scapular of Our Lady of Mount Carmel became one of the most powerful sacramentals in the Catholic Church. Saints have worn it. Popes have promoted it. Countless souls have been saved through its intercession. Think about what moves me most about this story. Mary didn't choose a king or a powerful nobleman to receive this gift. She chose a simple priest who was struggling, who needed help, who felt overwhelmed by life's challenges. Sound familiar? That's because this promise wasn't made for perfect people. It was made for people exactly like you and me. St. Simon Stock understood something profound. This wasn't simply about wearing a piece of cloth. This was about entering into a covenant relationship with the Mother of God herself. When you put on that scapular, you're declaring, "Mary, I trust you to guide me to your Son. I trust you to protect me in this life and lead me safely to the next." The feast day of July the 16th commemorates this incredible gift to humanity. It's the day when heaven and earth touched in a special way. When a mother's love provided a lifeline for her struggling children. That's why this day carries such special power. Throughout history, those who have honored Our Lady of Mount Carmel on her feast day have experienced remarkable graces. Families have been healed, addictions broken, financial troubles resolved. Most importantly, hearts have been converted, not because Mary is magic, but because she's a mother who knows exactly how to bring her children closer to Jesus. Today, as we prepare to explore these three powerful practices for July 16th, remember something crucial. You're not simply learning about a devotion. You're discovering how to activate a promise that was made in heaven specifically for you. Our Lady of Mount Carmel is waiting to pour out her blessings upon your life. All she asks is that you approach her with the simple faith of a child who trusts their mother completely. The question isn't whether these graces are available. They absolutely are. The real question is this: will you take the steps necessary to receive them? The first and most essential thing you must do on July 16th is attend Holy Mass and receive Holy Communion in honor of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. I know what some of you might be thinking. I go to Mass every Sunday. What makes this different? Allow me to explain exactly what makes this different, and why missing Mass on this day could mean missing out on graces you'll never have the chance to receive again. July 16th transcends being just another date on the calendar. It's the great solemnity of the Mother who promised salvation to those who honor her. When you attend Mass on this feast day, you're stepping beyond fulfilling your Sunday obligation. You're entering into the very heart of Mary's greatest promise to humanity. Consider this beautiful reality. You're positioning yourself to receive graces that flow specifically through her maternal intercession on this sacred day. The truth is, something extraordinary happens when you receive Holy Communion on July 16th. You're receiving Jesus through the hands of Mary on the very day that celebrates her role as our spiritual mother. It's like receiving a gift from your child, delivered personally by your own mother. The love, the care, the personal attention, it's all magnified beyond what we can comprehend. When you approach the altar that day, make this your prayer. Jesus, through the hands of your mother, Mary of Mount Carmel, I ask for the grace to persevere in faith, to die in your grace, and to be led safely to heaven under the protective mantle of your mother. This prayer aligns your heart with the very purpose of the Carmelite promise. But there's more. Offer your communion for your family members, especially those who have drifted away from the faith. Our Lady of Mount Carmel has a special tenderness for families in crisis, for children who have lost their way, for spouses who seem unreachable. When you unite your communion with her maternal heart on her feast day, you're creating a spiritual bridge that can reach even the most hardened hearts. If you want to deepen your relationship with Mary and experience the power of the Rosary in a completely new way, I have something special for you. We've created The Power of the Rosary with Padre Pio, Miracles, Protection, and Divine Graces. This spiritual treasure will help you learn to pray the Rosary with greater devotion and depth, discover the miracles and testimonies of those who have experienced its power, and receive a 30-day prayer guide with daily intentions to strengthen your faith. The Rosary was Padre Pio's great weapon, and today it can be yours too. To download this transformative guide, simply click the link pinned in the comments. Many people go through the motions of attending Mass without truly understanding the supernatural transaction taking place. On July 16th, something special occurs. Our Lady of Mount Carmel becomes particularly active in presenting the prayers and sacrifices of her children to Jesus. She takes your Mass attendance, your communion, your prayers, and she presents them to her Son with a mother's special pleading. Think about this profound reality. Every saint who ever lived understood that the Eucharist is the source and summit of our faith. When you combine the power of the Eucharist with the special intercession of Our Lady of Mount Carmel on her feast day, you're accessing a level of spiritual protection and grace that most people never experience. Can you imagine letting July 16th pass by like any ordinary day, allowing work, errands, or entertainment to keep you from this appointment with heaven? Many people spend years praying for breakthroughs, for healing, for conversion of loved ones. They never realize that some graces are only available on specific days through specific devotions. If there's a Mass available in your area on July 16th, move heaven and earth to be there. If you're traveling, find a church wherever you are. If you're sick, unite your suffering with the Mass and make a spiritual communion. Our Lady of Mount Carmel doesn't miss a single gesture of love and devotion made in her honor. This is your invitation to step into something extraordinary. This is your chance to claim the promises of heaven through the most powerful prayer the Church has, the holy sacrifice of the Mass, offered in union with the Mother of God on her special day. The second essential thing you must do on July 16th is have your scapular of Mount Carmel blessed or renewed. If you don't have one yet, this is the perfect day to receive this incredible gift from heaven. But I need to be crystal clear about something. The scapular transcends being just a piece of religious jewelry. It's not a good luck charm or a spiritual accessory. It's a sacramental with supernatural power, a visible sign of your consecration to Mary, and a guarantee of her protection in life, and especially at the hour of death. The truth is that many Catholics don't understand this. You can't simply buy a scapular online and put it on yourself. To receive the full benefits of Our Lady's promise, the scapular must be properly imposed by a priest. This isn't merely a church rule. It's how you become enrolled in the promise of Mount Carmel. When a priest places that scapular around your neck for the first time and says the blessing, something spiritual happens. You're wearing more than cloth. You're wearing heaven's protection. Already have a scapular. July 16th is the perfect day to have it blessed again and to renew your commitment to Our Lady. Find a priest after Mass and say, "Father, could you please bless my scapular and help me renew my consecration to Our Lady of Mount Carmel?" Then, with confidence, tell Mary, "My Mother of Mount Carmel, today I renew my consecration to you. Protect me always and come for me at the hour of my death." What I'm about to share will amaze you about the power of this devotion. Saint Padre Pio, one of the greatest saints of modern times, never removed his scapular of Mount Carmel. When he died, they found it under his Franciscan habit. This man bore the wounds of Christ in his own body. He could read souls and perform miracles, yet he considered the scapular essential to his spiritual life. Padre Pio used to tell people, make sure you always wear the scapular of Mount Carmel. It's a sign of salvation, protection in dangers, a promise of peace and eternal salvation. If this great saint considered it so important, why wouldn't we do the same? Consider the deeper truth about the scapular. It's not magic. It's a covenant. When you wear it faithfully, you're saying to Mary, "I trust you to guide my life. I trust you to help me live like your son. I trust you to be with me when I die." Mary responds to that trust with maternal love and protection that never fails. The promises attached to the scapular are extraordinary. First, there's the original promise. Whoever dies wearing it shall not suffer eternal fire. But there's also what's called the Sabbatine privilege, the promise that Mary will come to free her devoted children from purgatory as soon as possible, especially on Saturdays. Now, some people ask, does this mean I can live however I want as long as I wear the scapular? Absolutely not. The scapular is a sign of dedication to Christian living. It's a reminder to pray, to avoid sin, and to live in a way worthy of the Mother of God. It's not a free pass to sin. It's a call to holiness. When you put on that scapular or have it blessed on July 16th, You're joining a spiritual family that includes millions of souls throughout history. You're connecting yourself to a tradition that has produced countless saints and has brought comfort to dying people for over 700 years. I encourage you to make this a family tradition. If you have children, have their scapulars blessed too. Teach them about this beautiful devotion. Help them understand that wearing the scapular means they're under Mary's special protection. In a world full of dangers and temptations, what parent wouldn't want that kind of spiritual armor for their children? July 16th is your opportunity to claim this promise for yourself and your loved ones. Allow this day to pass without taking this step. Unthinkable. The scapular is Mary's gift to you, a mother's way of keeping her children close and safe. Now we come to the third thing you must do on July 16th, and this is the one that most Catholics completely forget. It's the practice that can multiply your blessings beyond imagination, yet it's the most overlooked aspect of Marian devotion. You must perform an act of charity or penance in honor of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Most people miss something crucial about true devotion to Mary. Prayer and sacred objects alone aren't enough. Real Marian devotion means imitating her virtues. It means living like she lived. It means showing the same love and compassion that she showed. When you perform acts of charity on her feast day, you're achieving something beautiful. You're not simply honoring her, you're becoming like her. So what does this look like practically? On July 16th, do something concrete out of love for Mary and her son. Visit someone who's sick or lonely. Help someone in financial need. Give generously to a charity. Forgive someone who has hurt you deeply. These aren't merely nice gestures, they're spiritual offerings that Mary takes directly to Jesus. You can also offer small sacrifices or penances, maybe fast from your morning coffee. Give up your favorite TV show for the day. Patiently endure some inconvenience without complaining. As you do this, pray, Our Lady of Mount Carmel, I offer this small sacrifice out of love for you and for the conversion of sinners. Why does Mary treasure these small offerings? Because they show that you're willing to deny yourself out of love. Consider something beautiful about Mary's heart. She can't be outdone in generosity. When you give something up for her, when you help someone in her honor, when you choose love over selfishness, she notices every single gesture. She takes these acts of charity and presents them to Jesus with a mother's special pleading. The graces that flow from these simple acts can be extraordinary. Allow me to share a testimony that illustrates this power. Maria, a single mother from Texas, was struggling to pay her rent and was facing eviction. On July the 16th, despite having almost nothing, she gave her last $20 to a homeless man, offering it to Our Lady of Mount Carmel for the conversion of sinners. That very afternoon, she received an unexpected check in the mail, a tax refund she had forgotten about that covered not just her rent, but 3 months ahead. Coincidence? Those who understand Mary's heart know better. The beauty of this practice is that it connects your devotion to real life. It moves your faith from your heart to your hands. It transforms you from someone who simply prays to Mary into someone who actually lives like Mary. That transformation is what opens the floodgates of heaven's blessings. Remember, Mary herself lived a life of constant charity. She rushed to help her cousin Elizabeth when she was pregnant. She noticed the embarrassment of the wedding couple in Cana and quietly intervened. She stood by her son, even in his darkest hour. When you perform acts of charity on her feast day, you're following in her footsteps. This July 16th, step beyond being a passive recipient of Mary's blessings. Be an active participant in her mission of love. Look around you. Who needs help? Who needs forgiveness? Who needs a kind word or a generous gesture? Let Mary work through your hands, your voice, your heart. The world is watching how Catholics live. When you perform acts of charity in Mary's honor, you're showing the world what it means to be a child of the Mother of God. You're proving that faith transcends what you believe. It's about how you love. Before we conclude, I want to share something that can multiply all these blessings exponentially, praying the Rosary as a family on July 16th. If you can gather your loved ones together for this prayer, you'll be creating a spiritual powerhouse that can transform your entire household. Our Lady of Mount Carmel has a special love for families. She understands the struggles that parents face, the worries about children, the challenges of keeping faith alive in a secular world. When families pray together on her feast day, she responds with maternal tenderness that can heal relationships, protect homes, and draw even the most resistant family members closer to God. Think about how to make this powerful. Gather everyone you can, spouse, children, grandparents, even reluctant teenagers. If some family members live far away, connect by phone or video call. Begin by asking Our Lady of Mount Carmel to cover every person in your family with her protective mantle. As you pray each decade, offer specific intentions for family members who need healing, conversion, or protection. Worried about your family rosary being perfect? Children might fidget, teenagers might seem distracted, someone might get called away by work. Mary doesn't expect perfection, she expects love. She sees your effort to bring your family together in prayer, and she blesses that effort in ways you might never fully realize. Make this prayer specific to July 16th by adding this intention: Our Lady of Mount Carmel, we consecrate our family to your immaculate heart. Protect our home from all evil, guide our decisions, and help us to live as a holy family, just as you lived with Jesus and Joseph. When you pray this with living faith, knowing that Mary promised her special protection to those who honor her, you're creating a spiritual fortress around your family. Many families have discovered that praying the Rosary together on Marian feast days creates a spiritual momentum that lasts throughout the year. Children who might resist prayer at other times often find themselves drawn into the beauty and peace of these special moments. Marriages that are struggling often find new strength and unity when couples pray together on these sacred days. Remember, the family that prays together stays together, but the family that prays the Rosary together on Our Lady's feast days experiences protection and blessings that go far beyond human understanding. This July 16th, step beyond praying for your family, pray with your family, and watch how Mary's maternal love transforms your home into a little sanctuary. My dear friends, let's bring together everything we've discovered about this powerful day. July the 16th transcends being just another date on the calendar. It's your personal invitation to experience heaven's extraordinary generosity through the maternal heart of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. We've explored 3 essential practices: attending Holy Mass and receiving communion in Mary's honor, having your scapula blessed or renewed, and performing concrete acts of charity and penance. These aren't complicated requirements. They're simple, beautiful ways to open your heart to graces that could change everything about your spiritual life. When you attend Mass on July 16th, you're stepping beyond fulfilling an obligation. You're positioning yourself to receive Jesus through Mary's hands on her special day. When you wear or renew your scapula, you're claiming heaven's promise of protection and salvation. When you perform acts of charity, you're showing Mary that your devotion extends beyond words. It's a way of life. Consider what ties it all together. Our Lady of Mount Carmel made specific promises to those who honor her. She promised that whoever dies wearing her scapula shall not suffer eternal fire. She promised, through the Sabbatine privilege, to come personally to free her devoted children from purgatory as soon as possible. These aren't simply beautiful traditions. These are guarantees from the Mother of God herself. Think about what this means for your eternal destiny. In a world full of uncertainty, where we can't even be sure what tomorrow will bring, you have the opportunity to secure supernatural protection that extends beyond this life into eternity. You have the chance to ensure that when your time on earth is finished, you won't face that final moment alone. You'll have the Mother of God herself as your advocate and guide. The three practices we've explored work together like a spiritual symphony. The Mass unites you to Jesus. The scapula marks you as Mary's child. Acts of charity prove that your faith is real and living. When you combine all three on July 16th, you're activating more than observing a feast day. You're activating a divine protection system that has been tested by millions of Catholics throughout history. Saint Teresa of Jesus, who lived under Mary's protection her entire life, once said, "Let nothing disturb you, let nothing frighten you. All things pass away, God never changes." When you live under the mantle of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, you can face the future with that same confidence. No matter what storms may come, you're protected by a mother whose love never fails. This July 16th is your moment. Allow it to pass by unnoticed, unthinkable. Embrace these three powerful practices and step into the fullness of Mary's maternal protection. Before we close, I want to invite you to be part of something beautiful. In the comments below, tell me which of these three practices you're going to do on July 16th. Are you going to attend Mass and receive communion? Will you have your scapula blessed or get one for the first time? What act of charity are you planning to offer to Our Lady? But there's more. Tell me who you want our community to pray for on this special day. Maybe it's a family member who's lost their faith, a friend battling illness, someone struggling with addiction. When we join our prayers together on Our Lady's feast day, we create a spiritual network that can reach into the darkest places and bring light. If this message has touched your heart, I ask you to do three things. First, give this video a thumbs up to help it reach more people who need to hear about Our Lady's promises. Second, share it with at least 3 people in your life who could benefit from this devotion. Maybe someone who's going through a difficult time, or someone who's searching for deeper meaning in their faith. Third, you subscribe to our channel and ring that notification bell so you never miss content that can strengthen your spiritual life. Remember, every time you engage with this content, you're helping spread devotion to Our Lady of Mount Carmel to souls around the world. You're participating in Mary's mission to bring all her children closer to Jesus. May Our Lady of Mount Carmel cover you today and always with her blessed scapula. May she protect your family, guide your decisions, and lead you safely to her Son when your earthly journey is complete. May she grant you the grace to live each day worthy of the incredible promises she has made to those who honor her with sincere hearts. Until we meet again, wear your scapula with pride, pray with confidence, and live with the joy of knowing you're under heaven's special protection. Amen. There's one day in the liturgical calendar when this silence becomes more profound, more intense, and infinitely more sacred. It's not a punishment. It's not the absence of love. It's a holy mystery. And according to Padre Pio, it's also a warning. Holy Saturday, also called Easter Saturday or the Saturday of Passion, is a spiritual threshold, an invisible border between death and resurrection. And if you don't know how to cross it with discernment, you could find yourself spiritually trapped just before receiving the greatest blessings of your life. Yes, you heard that right. Many people spend this day doing everything except what's essential, while they prepare the table, clean the house, decorate for Easter, or go out to celebrate too early. Heaven remains in silence, watching. And do you know what God sees from that silence? He sees impatient hearts, distracted souls, and faithful who have not understood the spiritual weight of this day. He sees how the enemy takes advantage of this apparent liturgical rest to sow his last traps, whispers, and confusions before the resurrection. And this is where Padre Pio's words become urgent. He said it clearly: Holy Saturday is the hour when hell despairs, heaven contains itself, and the soul of the righteous must learn to keep silence with God. But what does that mean? What should we do or not do during this special day that is equally dangerous? Today I will reveal it to you, based on the testimonies of the saint with the stigmata, the teachings of the Church, and the invisible mysteries that occur in the silence of Holy Saturday. If you believe in the power of sacred silence, write in the comments, "Lord, teach me to wait in silence." Your comment will help spread this urgent message to those who need it most. During Good Friday, we contemplate Christ's death. We mourn his sacrifice, his cross, his blood shed for love. But when Saturday arrives, everything seems to stop. There is no Mass. The tabernacle remains open and empty. The bells do not ring, and the soul feels a kind of sacred solitude. It's the most silent day in the Church, but also the most mysterious. Why? Because in that silence, God is working, in secret, in the hidden, in the bowels of hell, where Christ descends to liberate the righteous. While you, from earth, feel nothing, heaven is at war, and it's right there in that apparent pause that the enemy acts with greater force. Why? Because he knows you're vulnerable. You think the worst is over, that the battle of Good Friday has ended, and then you lower your guard, and when a soldier lowers his sword before the end, he may lose the war. In one of his letters, Padre Pio wrote to a spiritual child who had begun to celebrate Easter too early. His warning, "My son, resurrection is not a feast for those who have not passed through the tomb with Christ." Powerful, isn't it? But that's how it is. On Holy Saturday, we are still in the tomb. Spiritually, we continue to accompany Christ in the sepulchre, and if we avoid that moment of desolation, of waiting, of faith in the hidden, we will not fully participate in the miracle of Easter. That's why, don't rush your joy. This is not a day for parties. It's not the time to post celebration photos. It's not a day to distract yourself with worldly activities. It's a day to be silent, to contemplate, and to wait, just as Mary did. Imagine the Virgin Mary on that day. Her son has died. There are no signs of life, and yet she believes, she waits, she keeps silence. Padre Pio said that on that day, Mary's faith was the only flame that continued to burn in the world. That's why we call her the Woman of Holy Saturday. Can you be like her? You can turn off the noise of the world for one day. Turn off your cell phone, keep inner silence, fast, pray the Holy Saturday Rosary, accompany Jesus in the sepulchre with your heart. Do you know what Padre Pio said about Mary on that day? And while everyone mourned death, only she held on to hope, and because of this, the resurrection manifested first in her heart. You too can experience that, but you need to understand, waiting is part of the miracle. Many Catholics, only semi-conscious of the liturgy, commit a grave error on Holy Saturday. They turn it into a worldly day. They go to the beach, prepare barbecues, fill the house with noise, begin to celebrate Easter before the liturgical time. And do you know what happens spiritually? Padre Pio said that when the soul celebrates without having passed through the tomb with Christ, its joy is hollow. And in his visions, he saw how the enemy took advantage of these premature celebrations to sow spiritual confusion. There is no glory without the cross, and there is no true resurrection without having dwelled in the sepulchre with him. That is the core of Holy Saturday, a call to humility, to recollection, to obedient silence. My dear friends, as we explore these profound truths about Holy Saturday, I wanted to share something special with you. Many of you have been asking for deeper guidance on Padre Pio's spiritual teachings. That's why we've created the Spiritual Secrets of St. Padre Pio ebook. This special collection contains powerful prayers, reflections based on his teachings, and practical advice to strengthen your spirituality. If you want to transform your prayer life and discover the mystical wisdom of this beloved saint, click on the link in the comments below. This resource will help you not just understand Holy Saturday better, but enrich your entire spiritual journey throughout the year. Now, let's continue our exploration of this sacred day. Padre Pio didn't leave a written manual for Holy Saturday, but he did leave us a series of spiritual practices that his spiritual children collected and shared. Here I present to you the ones he most recommended: the Sepulchre Rosary, a special rosary that is prayed meditating on the Passion, the descent into hell, and Mary's weight. Padre Pio prayed it in tears, the fast of words, a day in silence, without social media, without empty conversations, a verbal fast to offer to God. Visit to the empty tabernacle, going to church, looking at the bare altar, the open tabernacle, and offering Jesus your pain, your weight, your solitude. Writing a spiritual letter to Christ, as the ancient mystics did, a letter of love, gratitude, comfort to the wounded heart of Jesus. Leave it at the foot of the crucifix as an offering. Meditation on the wounds of Christ. Contemplate each wound. Think about how his body lies in the tomb and how your soul also needs to die to sin. I tell you with love but firmly, the way you live Holy Saturday determines the spiritual depth of your Easter. It's not optional. It's not just another day. It's a threshold, a door. And many Christians celebrate Easter with their body, but their soul remained on Good Friday. Padre Pio, do you want that? Or do you desire an authentic, powerful, luminous Easter that transforms your life from within? Then, don't waste Holy Saturday. Don't fill it with noise. Don't ignore it. Don't treat it like just another holiday. Guard it like a treasure. Satan is cunning. And on Holy Saturday, he doesn't come with fear. He comes with distraction. He makes you believe that it's over, that it's time to celebrate, that it doesn't matter. And that's when he steals your spiritual resurrection. The enemy disguises himself as joy when he cannot prevent the sacrifice, but he can still prevent the glory. Padre Pio once met a woman named Maria who shared her profound experience with Holy Saturday. For years, she had treated this sacred day as merely the precursor to Easter celebrations, shopping, preparing meals, and even hosting pre-Easter gatherings. But after attending a retreat where Padre Pio's teachings on Holy Saturday were shared, she decided to experience this day differently. That first Holy Saturday, spent in reverent silence, changed everything, she told me with tears in her eyes. I felt as though I was truly accompanying Christ in the tomb. When Easter morning came, I experienced a joy so profound, so authentic, that I realized all my previous Easter celebrations had been merely superficial. The resurrection became real to me, not just a historical event, but something happening within my very soul. This is the transformation that awaits when we honor the sacred silence of this day. This is why I implore you to reconsider how you spend these precious hours between the cross and the empty tomb. Therefore, today I tell you, do not do these things on Holy Saturday. Do not play worldly music. Do not go out to celebrate before the dawn of Easter. Do not neglect your soul. Do not fill your house with things without first emptying your heart before God. At the heart of Holy Saturday, we find a singular figure whose faith illuminates the darkest day in the liturgical calendar: Mary, the mother of Jesus. Padre Pio often spoke of her with profound reverence, particularly regarding her role during this sacred interval between crucifixion and resurrection. And on Holy Saturday, Padre Pio once shared with his spiritual children, when the apostles scattered in fear and confusion, when the disciples hid behind locked doors, there stood Mary, steadfast, silent, and full of faith. She alone held the certainty of the resurrection when all visible evidence pointed to defeat. Can you imagine what this day was like for her? The body of her son, the one whom Angel Gabriel had announced would be the savior of the world, lay cold and lifeless in a borrowed tomb. The promises seemed shattered, the mission apparently defeated. Yet in her heart, a flame of faith burned unextinguished. This is why Padre Pio referred to her as the woman of Holy Saturday. She embodies everything we are called to be on this mysterious day: patient in suffering, steadfast in hope, and silent in contemplation. Mary teaches us, Padre Pio would say, that sometimes the greatest act of faith is to wait in silence when God himself seems silent. There's a spiritual wisdom here that modern believers desperately need. In our age of instant gratification, constant noise, and chronic impatience, Mary's example challenges us to embrace holy waiting. She didn't rush to fill the void with activity. She didn't attempt to numb the pain with distractions. She simply remained present to the mystery unfolding in the silence. I remember speaking with an elderly monk who had dedicated his life to contemplative prayer. He shared how his understanding of Holy Saturday transformed when he began to see it through Mary's eyes. For years, I saw this day merely as the uncomfortable pause between Good Friday and Easter Sunday, he confessed. But then I began to contemplate Mary's vigil of faith. I realized that Holy Saturday isn't just dead space, it's sacred space. It's where faith is purified in the crucible of apparent absence. And that's when I understood that without truly living Holy Saturday, our Easter joy remains superficial. Padre Pio insisted that if we want to experience the fullness of resurrection joy, we must first learn to wait with Mary. This waiting isn't passive resignation, it's active vigilance. It's standing guard over hope when all seems lost. The faith of Mary on Holy Saturday, Padre Pio taught, was more powerful than all the doubts of humanity combined. While the world saw only an ending, she perceived the beginning of something miraculous. This is why Padre Pio recommended spending part of Holy Saturday meditating specifically on Mary's faith. He suggested placing ourselves spiritually beside her, sharing her vigil, learning from her stillness. Ask the Holy Mother to teach you how to wait in faith, he would counsel those struggling with periods of spiritual dryness. She who waited through the longest Saturday in history can teach you how to find God, even in his apparent absence. What would change in your spiritual life if you approached Holy Saturday with the steadfast faith of Mary? How might your experience of Easter be transformed if you first embraced the sacred silence of the tomb with her? Let her example guide you. Let her faith inspire you. And remember Padre Pio's profound insight. The resurrection was revealed first in Mary's heart, even before the stone was rolled away. Deep down, the silence of this day is not punishment. It is an invitation. God is silent, because he wants you to be silent inside as well, so that you can hear him from your soul. In the words of Saint John of the Cross, the silence of God is the language of those who love in darkness. Padre Pio lived this silence every Holy Saturday as an interior retreat, a spiritual death to resurrect more profoundly with Christ, and you can do it too. But how exactly? What practical steps can we take to honor this sacred day and prepare our souls for true resurrection? Padre Pio left us specific spiritual practices that transform Holy Saturday from a day of waiting into a powerful spiritual journey. The first practice is what Padre Pio called the Sepulchre Rosary. This is not your ordinary rosary. When praying the Sepulchre Rosary, each mystery becomes a window into Christ's hidden work between his death and resurrection. As you meditate on each decade, visualize Christ descending into the realm of the dead, breaking the chains of those who awaited him, and preparing for his glorious return. When you pray the Sepulchre Rosary, Padre Pio instructed, imagine yourself sitting beside the stone that seals the tomb. With each Hail Mary, you're keeping vigil with the Mother of God, whose faith never wavered even in the face of death. The second practice is the fast of words. In our hyper-connected world, this might be the most challenging practice, but also the most necessary. Holy Saturday calls us to disconnect completely, to silence not just our lips, but our digital lives as well. No endless scrolling, no mindless chatter, no news consumption, no social media posting, just sacred silence. Padre Pio was particularly strict about this. On the day when God himself is silent in the tomb, how dare we fill the world with our noise? Let your words be few, your prayers deep, and your heart attentive. The third practice is visiting the empty tabernacle. On Holy Saturday, the tabernacle stands open and empty, a powerful symbol of Christ's absence. Padre Pio encouraged the faithful to spend time before this empty tabernacle, contemplating the void left by Christ's death. "Man, sit before the empty tabernacle," he would say, "and feel the spiritual hunger that only the resurrected Lord can satisfy. Let yourself experience the emptiness that the disciples felt. This hunger is holy. It prepares your soul to receive the bread of life with renewed appreciation." The fourth practice is writing a spiritual letter to Christ in the tomb. Take pen and paper, not a computer or phone, and write from your heart to the heart of Jesus. Tell him about your struggles, your darkness, your hopes. Pour out your soul, as if speaking to a beloved friend who cannot respond yet but hears every word. And to this letter, Padre Pio explained, becomes your personal gospel, the good news of how Christ continues to work in your life even when you cannot see or feel him. Finally, Padre Pio recommended the meditation on the 5 wounds. Spend time contemplating each wound of Christ, his hands, feet, and side, but on Holy Saturday, focus particularly on how these wounds lie hidden in the shroud, awaiting glorification. The wounds that now seem to speak only of defeat, Padre Pio taught, will soon become the most radiant signs of victory. Your own wounds, likewise, are being transformed in the sacred silence of Holy Saturday. When practiced with sincerity and devotion, these 5 spiritual exercises create a Holy Saturday experience that deepens and transforms our understanding of Easter. We move from spectators of a historical event to participants in the greatest mystery of faith. As night falls on Holy Saturday, the Church prepares for the Easter Vigil. It is then that the liturgy bursts into light. But that light only makes sense if your soul has traversed the darkness. If you lived this day as a holy burial, then the flame of the Paschal candle will be for you a new birth. The resurrection will not be a symbol. It will be yours. It will be real. Satan is astute, and on Holy Saturday, he doesn't come with fear. He comes with distraction. He makes you believe that it's over, that it's time to celebrate, that nothing matters now. And that's when he steals your spiritual resurrection. Through Padre Pio's numerous writings and the testimonies of those who knew him intimately, we can discern specific warnings about what to avoid on this sacred day. These are not arbitrary restrictions, but profound spiritual insights into what diminishes our participation in the Paschal mystery. First, avoid premature celebration. This was perhaps Padre Pio's most emphatic warning about Holy Saturday. He observed how many Christians, weary from the solemnity of Good Friday, rush to move into celebration mode before the Easter Vigil. They treat Holy Saturday as merely the prelude to Easter, rather than a sacred day with its own spiritual significance. When you celebrate before the stone is rolled away, Padre Pio cautioned, you celebrate not the true resurrection, but merely your relief that the uncomfortable parts of Holy Week are over. This premature celebration takes many forms: festive gatherings, elaborate meal preparations that distract from prayer, shopping excursions, resort visits, or beach outings that treat the day as merely leisure time. While none of these activities are inherently wrong, they miss the profound opportunity that Holy Saturday offers. Second, avoid digital noise. Padre Pio lived before the age of smartphones and social media, but his insights about the necessity of silence are even more relevant in our hyper-connected era. On Holy Saturday particularly, the constant stream of notifications, news updates, and social feeds creates a barrier between our souls and the sacred silence where God is working. External silence, Padre Pio taught, is merely the doorway to internal silence, which is where God speaks to the soul. When we fill our day with digital distractions, we effectively close this door. Third, avoid the temptation of spiritual impatience. Holy Saturday challenges our modern desire for immediate resolution and quick answers. It invites us to dwell in the uncomfortable space of not yet, to sit with questions rather than demand immediate answers, to wait in hope rather than force outcomes. Padre Pio saw many souls falter here. They want resurrection without burial, glory without humiliation, Easter without Holy Saturday. But this is not the way of Christ, nor can it be the way of his followers. Fourth, avoid filling the void with busy work. Many people, uncomfortable with the stillness and apparent emptiness of Holy Saturday, pack the day with unnecessary tasks and activities. While preparation for Easter is appropriate, when it becomes a way to avoid contemplation and silence, it misses the point of the day. Busyness, Padre Pio observed, is often the enemy's most effective tool against the contemplative soul. On Holy Saturday especially, ask yourself, am I preparing for Easter or am I hiding from God's silence? Fifth, avoid spiritual presumption. This subtle danger involves taking resurrection for granted, assuming that Easter's joy is automatic rather than transformative. Padre Pio warned against treating the resurrection as a foregone conclusion that requires nothing from us. Be those who have not kept vigil with Christ, as he said, cannot fully rejoice with him. Those who have not experienced the tomb cannot fully appreciate liberation from it. A profound story illustrates this point. Padre Pio once counseled a man who complained that Easter never seemed to bring him the spiritual joy others experienced. After listening carefully, Padre Pio asked him, "How do you spend Holy Saturday?" The man described a day filled with normal activities and preparations. Padre Pio replied, "You cannot harvest what you have not planted. Holy Saturday is the seed from which Easter joy grows. Plant silence, prayer, and contemplation on this day, and you will reap abundance on Easter morning." These warnings might seem strict in our permissive age, but they come from profound spiritual wisdom. Holy Saturday stands as a sacred threshold between death and life. How we cross this threshold determines in many ways the authenticity of our Easter experience. As night falls on Holy Saturday, the Church prepares for the Easter Vigil. It is then that the liturgy bursts into light, but that light only makes sense if your soul has traversed the darkness. If you've lived this day as a holy burial, then the flame of the Paschal candle will be for you a new birth. The resurrection will not be a symbol, it will be yours, it will be real. If you've come this far, I have a spiritual challenge inspired by Padre Pio. Disconnect completely for 12 hours on Holy Saturday. Keep silence. Pray. Write a letter to Jesus. Spiritually accompany Mary. And enter the Easter Vigil with a new heart. And now, a promise. If you live this day as Mary lived it, if you spend it in the tomb with Jesus, then Easter Sunday will not be just another holiday. It will be the day when you too are resurrected. Because, as Padre Pio said, there is no true Easter for one who has not passed through the Saturday of Passion with soul awake and heart in silence. I want to share with you something deeply personal. For many years, I approached Holy Saturday as merely the day before Easter. I would busy myself with preparations, errands, and all manner of distractions. Easter would come, and while I enjoyed the celebration, something always felt missing, a depth, a transformation I knew should be there but somehow wasn't. Then I encountered these teachings of Padre Pio. The first Holy Saturday I spent following his guidance, in silence, prayer, and spiritual accompaniment with Mary, changed everything. When Easter morning dawned, I experienced a joy so profound, so authentic, that I realized all my previous Easter celebrations had barely scratched the surface of this glorious mystery. This is what awaits you. This is the invitation extended to you today. Imagine entering Easter morning with a heart truly prepared, a soul that has kept vigil, a spirit attuned to the profound mystery of resurrection. Imagine experiencing Easter not as a mere historical commemoration, but as a personal reality in your own life. This Holy Saturday, make a decision. Choose silence over noise. Choose depth over distraction. Choose the way of Mary over the way of the world. If this message has touched your heart, write in the comments. I will keep Holy Saturday sacred. Your commitment might inspire others to discover this profound truth that can transform their Easter experience forever. Remember, my dear friends, that the way we journey through these sacred days shapes our entire spiritual life. When we honor the rhythms of the liturgical year, especially this most sacred Triduum, we align ourselves with the very heartbeat of salvation history. Your spiritual journey matters. Your Holy Saturday matters. Your inner resurrection matters. And as our community grows in understanding these sacred mysteries, we become beacons of authentic faith in a world desperately hungry for meaning. If you found value in today's message, please support our mission by liking this video, sharing it with someone who needs this message, and subscribing to our channel. Your support allows us to continue spreading the faith and teachings of Padre Pio to hearts around the world. Remember, each like, share, and subscription helps us form a spiritual family united in faith and devotion. May the silence of Holy Saturday prepare you for the glory of Easter morning. May the faith of Mary sustain you in moments of darkness. And may the wounds of Christ now hidden in the tomb soon become for you fountains of grace and healing in your life. Until we meet again in our next reflection, hold fast to hope. For after every Holy Saturday, Easter always comes. You have sacramentals in your home, but are they really protecting you? Many Catholics have holy water, crucifixes, or religious medals in their homes. But here's a question no one ever asks. Are these sacramentals actually working? Or could they be nothing more than decorations if used the wrong way? It's a hard truth, but just owning a sacramental doesn't automatically protect you. These sacred objects are not magic charms. They require something more, something that many Catholics overlook. Saint Padre Pio, who battled against spiritual darkness his entire life, knew this well. He didn't just bless himself with holy water. He used it in a way that made demons flee. He didn't just wear a crucifix. He understood its power as a shield against evil. So today, I want to share something that might completely change how you see sacramentals. I'll reveal the 7 essential sacramentals every Catholic should have, but more importantly, I'll show you how to use them with the power and purpose that Padre Pio taught. And here's the real challenge. Most people make a critical mistake when using one of these sacramentals without even realizing it. This one mistake could be the reason why, despite having sacramentals in your home, you still feel anxious, spiritually drained, or surrounded by conflict. If you've ever thought, I have holy objects in my home, but things don't seem to change, this message is for you. Because the truth is, sacramentals only work when used with faith, intention, and the right knowledge. So stay with me until the end, because what you're about to learn could be the missing piece in your spiritual life. And before we begin, I want to invite you to be part of something bigger. Many people watch these messages, but forget to subscribe or like the video, and when that happens, YouTube doesn't recommend it to others who truly need it. If you believe more people should hear this, hit the like button and subscribe now. It's a simple action, but it could help someone who is struggling find the guidance they need. Now, let's dive in, because what I'm about to share might transform your home and your faith forever. But here's what makes this revelation so crucial for our times. We're living in an age where spiritual attacks have become increasingly subtle and sophisticated. The enemy no longer needs to be dramatic. He works through discord, anxiety, depression, and the slow erosion of peace in our homes. Many families are under attack without even realizing it. The signs are there. Constant arguments, unexplained illness, persistent nightmares, financial struggles that defy logic, and a heaviness that no amount of positive thinking seems to lift. Before we continue with these powerful revelations, I want to share something special with you. We've created a comprehensive guide called The Spiritual Secrets of Padre Pio. This ebook contains powerful prayers, reflections based on his teachings, and practical advice to strengthen your spirituality. Click the link in the comments to access this transformative resource that will deepen your understanding of spiritual warfare. Now, what makes sacramentals different from ordinary religious objects? The key lies in understanding that these aren't magical items. They're physical channels of divine grace, blessed by the Church's authority. When Padre Pio spoke about sacramentals, he emphasized three crucial elements that most people miss. First, these objects must be properly blessed by a priest. This isn't just a formality, it's a crucial step that imbues them with spiritual power through the Church's authority. Second, they must be used with genuine faith and understanding, not as superstitious talismans. And third, this is what most people never realize, they work in conjunction with our spiritual life, not as standalone protections. Think of sacramentals like the spiritual armor described by St. Paul. Just as a soldier wouldn't wear only one piece of armor into battle, we shouldn't rely on just one sacramental for protection. Each serves a unique purpose in our spiritual defense, creating an interwoven shield of divine protection around our homes and families. What you're about to learn are the specific sacramentals that Padre Pio found most powerful in his spiritual battles, and more importantly, how to use them correctly to maximize their protective power. These aren't just ancient traditions, they're vital spiritual tools for modern spiritual warfare. Remember, the enemy's greatest trick isn't in launching obvious attacks, it's in convincing us that we don't need protection in the first place. By the time you finish watching this video, you'll understand exactly why these sacred objects are so crucial for your family's spiritual well-being, and how to use them to create an impenetrable shield of divine protection around your home. Before we dive deep into each sacramental that Padre Pio recommended, it's crucial to understand exactly what we're dealing with. Many Catholics confuse sacramentals with sacraments, and this misunderstanding often leads to their misuse or diminished effectiveness. Let me share something Padre Pio often emphasized. Sacramentals create what he called an invisible shield around our homes and families. But this shield isn't automatic. It requires our active participation and understanding. Think of it like a sophisticated security system. Having the equipment installed isn't enough. You need to know how to arm it, when to activate different features, and how to maintain it. Here's what makes sacramentals uniquely powerful. While sacraments were instituted by Christ himself for our sanctification, sacramentals were given to us by the Church as tools for spiritual protection and growth. They don't work like the sacraments do. They're not about transforming our souls directly. Instead, they create an environment where divine grace can flow more freely into our lives. Padre Pio experienced this reality in dramatic ways. During his most intense spiritual battles, he discovered that properly used sacramentals didn't just offer passive protection, they actively repelled evil forces. He would often tell his spiritual children about nights when demons would physically attack him, and how these attacks would cease the moment he used blessed objects with faith and proper intention. But here's what most people get wrong about sacramentals. They treat them like spiritual good luck charms. This is exactly what the enemy wants because it diminishes their true power. These blessed objects aren't magical amulets. They're channels of grace that require our faith and understanding to work effectively. The invisible shield created by sacramentals works on 3 levels. First, it provides immediate protection against spiritual attacks. Second, it creates an atmosphere that makes it difficult for evil to gain a foothold in our homes. And third, this is crucial, it helps dispose us to receive more grace through the sacraments themselves. Padre Pio emphasized that this shield becomes stronger when multiple sacramentals are used together with understanding and faith. It's like creating layers of spiritual protection around your home. Each sacramental serves a specific purpose, addressing different aspects of our spiritual needs and vulnerabilities. However, there's something vital you need to understand. The effectiveness of this shield depends largely on the state of our souls and our spiritual lives. Sacramentals work most powerfully when we're in a state of grace, regularly receiving the sacraments and living a life of prayer. They're not substitutes for the sacraments. They're complementary tools that enhance our spiritual protection. Think of it this way. If your home were a fortress, the sacraments would be its foundation and walls, while sacramentals would be its defensive weapons and shields. Both are necessary, but they serve different purposes in our spiritual battle. As we move forward to explore each specific sacramental, remember this fundamental truth: the invisible shield they create is real, but its power flows from God through the Church's blessing and our faith. These aren't just symbols, they're tangible instruments of divine protection that, when used properly, can transform our homes into spiritual strongholds. Of all the sacramentals Padre Pio recommended, he considered holy water to be the most fundamental and powerful. And after the sacraments, he would say, holy water is the enemy's greatest fear. This simple yet profound sacramental is our first line of defense in spiritual warfare, and understanding how to use it properly can transform your home's spiritual atmosphere. Why did Padre Pio place such emphasis on holy water? Because he witnessed firsthand its extraordinary power to dispel darkness. During his most intense spiritual battles, he would keep holy water close at hand, using it not just in moments of attack, but as a daily instrument of protection and purification. The power of holy water lies in its simplicity and accessibility. Unlike other sacramentals that require specific blessings or ceremonies, holy water is readily available in every Catholic church. But here's what most people don't realize about this powerful sacramental. Its effectiveness isn't just in the moment of use, but in the lasting protection it provides. Padre Pio taught his spiritual children a specific method for using holy water effectively. First, he emphasized the importance of keeping holy water in every room of your home, not just in one central location, but accessible throughout your living space. He recommended small holy water fonts by each doorway and beside every bed. Here's the proper way to use holy water for maximum spiritual protection. Begin each day by blessing yourself with holy water while making the sign of the cross with true faith and intention. This simple act creates what Padre Pio called a spiritual seal of protection that follows you throughout your day. For your home's protection, establish a routine of blessing key areas, doorways, windows, and corners of rooms. Pay special attention to places where family members gather most often: the dining room, living room, and bedrooms. When blessing these areas, make the sign of the cross with the holy water while saying a short prayer of protection. But perhaps the most powerful use of holy water comes in moments of spiritual disturbance. If you feel an unusual heaviness in your home, sense spiritual opposition, or experience unexplained tension among family members, use holy water immediately. Padre Pio taught that the simple act of sprinkling holy water with faith can dispel negative spiritual influences and restore peace. Here's a practical tip that few people know. Combine the use of holy water with prayer. As you bless your home, pray the short but powerful prayer Padre Pio often used: "By this holy water and by your precious blood, wash away all my sins, O Lord." This combination of sacramental and prayer creates a particularly strong spiritual defense. Remember, holy water isn't just ordinary water. It's been blessed by the Church's authority and carries real spiritual power. But this power is activated by our faith and proper use. Don't treat it as a superstitious ritual, but as a genuine instrument of divine protection that, when used with understanding and devotion, creates a foundation of spiritual safety in your home. After holy water, Padre Pio identified the crucifix as the most powerful sacramental for protecting our homes. The crucifix, he would often say, is not merely a symbol, it is a sign of victory that makes demons tremble. This sacred image of Christ's sacrifice carries extraordinary power when properly understood and reverently displayed in our homes. But let's address something crucial that Padre Pio emphasized. There's a profound difference between treating the crucifix as mere religious decoration and honoring it as a powerful instrument of protection. Many Catholics hang crucifixes in their homes without realizing their true spiritual significance. The power isn't in the object itself, but in what it represents and how we engage with it in faith. Padre Pio provided specific guidance about crucifixes in the home. First, he recommended having a blessed crucifix in every room, not just one central location. The placement is crucial. The crucifix should be visible and positioned where family members can easily focus on it during times of prayer or spiritual distress. Particular attention should be paid to bedrooms, where spiritual battles often intensify during the night. Here's something remarkable that Padre Pio shared from his own experience. During intense spiritual attacks, he would often grasp his crucifix and find immediate relief. He taught that the crucifix serves as both a reminder and a weapon. It reminds us of Christ's victory over evil and serves as a channel of that victorious power in our daily battles. The proper way to use a crucifix for spiritual protection involves more than just hanging it on a wall. Padre Pio recommended these specific practices. First, begin and end each day by making the sign of the cross while looking at the crucifix. Second, in moments of spiritual attack or family tension, gather the family before the crucifix for prayer. Third, periodically touch and kiss the crucifix while expressing your faith in Christ's victory over evil. But here's what most people don't realize about the crucifix's protective power. It works in conjunction with our daily spiritual life. The more we contemplate Christ's sacrifice and victory while looking at the crucifix, the more powerful its protective presence becomes in our homes. It's not about the size or artistic beauty of the crucifix, it's about the faith and devotion with which we regard it. Let me share a practical tip from Padre Pio's teachings. When blessing your home with holy water, make the sign of the cross before each crucifix while praying, by your cross and resurrection, protect this home and all who dwell within it. This simple practice combines the power of multiple sacramentals and strengthens your home's spiritual defense. Of all the sacramentals we've discussed, Padre Pio had a special relationship with the Rosary. The Rosary, he would say, is my weapon of choice in spiritual warfare. He carried it constantly, often praying dozens of rosaries daily, especially during his most intense spiritual battles. But what made this simple string of beads so powerful in his hands, and how can we unlock its protective power in our homes? The secret lies in understanding that the Rosary isn't just a devotional prayer. It's what Padre Pio called a chain that binds evil. When used with true faith and understanding, it creates a spiritual shield around your home that evil forces find difficult to penetrate. But here's what most people miss. The Rosary's power isn't just in the physical beads or even in the prayers themselves. It's in how we use it as a daily instrument of protection. Padre Pio taught his spiritual children to treat the Rosary as both a defensive and offensive weapon. Defensively, having blessed rosaries placed strategically throughout your home creates points of protection. But offensively, the actual praying of the Rosary builds what he called a fortress of faith around your family. Here's the method Padre Pio recommended for maximizing the Rosary's protective power. First, ensure your Rosary is properly blessed by a priest. Then, establish a daily family Rosary time, even if not everyone participates at first. The consistency of this prayer creates a spiritual rhythm that strengthens your home's protection over time. But there's something crucial about the Rosary that Padre Pio emphasized. Its effectiveness increases when we pray it with attention to the mysteries. Don't just recite the prayers mechanically. As you pray, visualize each mystery, letting its power and meaning sink into your heart. This mindful prayer creates a deeper spiritual shield than rushed or distracted recitation. Here's a practical application that few people know about. In moments of spiritual disturbance in your home, when tensions rise, when fear creeps in, when peace seems distant, hold your rosary and pray even just 1 decade with intense focus. Padre Pio would often say that even a single Hail Mary prayed with true faith can drive away darkness. The rosary also works in powerful conjunction with other sacramentals. Try this method Padre Pio often recommended. While praying the rosary, move through your home, sprinkling holy water and pausing before each crucifix. This combination of sacramentals creates what he called a triple shield of protection. Remember, the rosary's power as a sacramental comes from its connection to Our Lady. As Padre Pio taught, when we pray the rosary, we hand our troubles over to the most powerful Queen of Heaven. This isn't just poetic language. It's a spiritual reality that manifests in tangible protection for our homes and families. When it comes to sacred medals, Padre Pio had very specific recommendations, particularly about the Saint Benedict medal and the miraculous medal. These aren't mere decorations, he would insist. They are shields of spiritual protection, each with its own unique power. But understanding how to use these medals properly makes all the difference in their effectiveness. Let's start with the Saint Benedict medal, which Padre Pio considered exceptionally powerful against evil attacks. What makes this medal unique is that it contains an actual exorcism blessing inscribed in its Latin letters. But here's what most people don't realize. The medal's power isn't just in wearing it. It's in understanding and believing in the profound meaning behind each symbol and prayer it contains. Padre Pio recommended placing Saint Benedict medals at specific points in your home, near doorways, windows, and in the foundations if possible. He taught that these medals create what he called points of protection, areas where evil forces find it difficult to enter. But the medal must be properly blessed by a priest for this protection to be activated. The miraculous medal was another sacramental that Padre Pio highly valued. Given to Saint Catherine Labouré by the Virgin Mary herself, this medal carries extraordinary promises of protection. Padre Pio noted that wearing the miraculous medal creates a special connection to Our Lady's protective mantle. But he emphasized something crucial. The medal should be worn with conscious devotion, not as a thoughtless habit. Here's a practical application that Padre Pio taught. When using sacred medals for home protection, create what he called a circle of grace. Place blessed medals at the 4 corners of your property or home while praying for Our Lady's protection. This creates a spiritual boundary that helps guard your home against negative influences. But perhaps the most powerful aspect of sacred medals comes from combining their use with other sacramentals. Padre Pio recommended this specific practice. When blessing your home with holy water, touch each sacred medal while making the sign of the cross and saying a short prayer. This combines the protective power of multiple sacramentals, creating a stronger spiritual defense. There's also something unique about the way sacred medals work over time. Unlike some sacramentals that provide immediate protection, medals create what Padre Pio called a cumulative shield. Their protective power grows stronger with faithful use and devotion. The more we honor and respect these sacred objects, the more effective their spiritual protection becomes. Remember, though, Padre Pio's crucial warning: sacred medals are not magical amulets. Their power comes from God, through the Church's blessing and our faith. When we understand this truth and use these medals with proper devotion, they become powerful instruments of divine protection for our homes and families. Now that we understand the power of each sacramental, Padre Pio taught that establishing a daily ritual of protection is crucial. He emphasized that consistency in using these sacred objects creates what he called a rhythm of grace in our homes. Let me share with you the specific daily practices he recommended for maintaining strong spiritual protection. The morning ritual is particularly important. Padre Pio taught that the early hours, especially dawn, are powerful moments for strengthening our spiritual defenses. Begin each day by blessing yourself with holy water while standing before your main crucifix. This simple act, done with faith, establishes what he called the morning seal of protection. Throughout the day, there are what Padre Pio identified as critical moments when our spiritual protection needs reinforcement. These typically occur during times of transition, when leaving or entering the home, before meals, and during moments of family gathering. At these times, he recommended a brief but powerful practice. Touch your sacred medal while making the sign of the cross and offering a short prayer. The evening ritual was something Padre Pio considered essential for peaceful rest. Before bedtime, he recommended walking through your home with holy water, blessing each room while holding your rosary. Pay special attention to bedrooms, where spiritual battles often intensify during the night. This evening, blessing creates what he called a nocturnal shield of protection. But here's something crucial that Padre Pio emphasized about these daily rituals. They should involve the whole family whenever possible. Even if some family members are skeptical, their mere presence during these prayers and blessings allows them to receive protection. He would often say, "The faith of one family member can shield the entire household." For times of spiritual attack or unusual stress, Padre Pio provided a specific emergency ritual. Combine all the sacramentals in a moment of focused prayer. Hold your rosary, stand before a crucifix, use holy water, and touch your sacred medal while praying. This combination creates what he called a fortress moment of intense protection. Remember, these daily rituals aren't about superstition or rigid rules. They're about creating a consistent pattern of spiritual protection that builds and strengthens over time. As Padre Pio taught, it's not the complexity of the ritual that matters, but the faith and consistency with which it's performed. As we conclude our journey through Padre Pio's teachings on sacramentals, let's seal this knowledge with understanding and action. Everything we've learned about these powerful instruments of protection comes together in what Padre Pio called the final seal, the way we commit to using these sacred objects in our daily lives. Remember how we began, speaking about the invisible shield that protects Catholic homes. Now you understand that this protection isn't automatic. It's built through the faithful use of sacramentals, each serving its unique purpose in our spiritual defense. Holy water cleanses and purifies. The crucifix stands as our victory sign. The rosary binds us to Our Lady's protection, and sacred medals create points of grace throughout our homes. But Padre Pio left us with one final, crucial teaching about sacramentals. Their power grows when we share this knowledge with others. He would often say, when you help another soul understand these spiritual weapons, you strengthen your own protection. This is why I'm asking you now to share this message with others who might need this protection for their homes. Here are the immediate steps Padre Pio recommended for starting your journey with sacramentals. First, gather all your sacramentals and have them properly blessed by a priest. If you don't have all of them yet, start with what you have. Even a single blessed crucifix can begin your home's transformation. Second, establish your daily ritual of protection, beginning with the morning blessing using holy water. Remember, consistency matters more than complexity. Third, create your home's points of protection by properly placing your sacramentals, crucifixes in each room, holy water fonts by doorways, sacred medals at strategic points. If these teachings have touched your heart, I invite you to write, "I choose protection," in the comments below. This simple act declares your commitment to creating a spiritually protected home. Before we end, let me share one final prayer that Padre Pio taught for sealing spiritual protection. Place your hand on your sacred medal or rosary and pray with me. Lord, through these blessed sacramentals, establish your protection in my home. Through the intercession of Padre Pio, let these sacred objects become channels of your grace and shields against all evil. under the mantle of Our Lady and by the power of the cross, seal this protection in my home and family. Amen. Remember, the spiritual shield we've built today through understanding these sacramentals grows stronger with each passing day of faithful use. Let this be the beginning of a new chapter in your spiritual life, where your home becomes truly a sanctuary of divine protection. Have you ever wondered what mysterious power lies hidden behind such a simple act as kissing a crucifix? Have you noticed how some people seem to find incredible peace and strength in this ancient devotion? My dear brothers and sisters, kissing a crucifix isn't just a beautiful tradition or an empty ritual. It's a spiritual act that opens the gates of heaven and moves the very sacred heart of Jesus. Padre Pio, that great stigmatized saint who bore the wounds of Jesus in his own flesh, understood deeply the weight of gestures, of sacramentals, of prayers that flow from sincere souls. He carried his crucifix always, kissed it, embraced it, contemplated it with tears streaming down his face, and he told his spiritual children that nothing is small when it's done with love for Jesus. Kissing the crucifix isn't superstition or empty custom. It's an act that unleashes 9 immense graces that pour out upon whoever does it with living faith and a humble heart. If you have a crucifix in your home, write in the comments, Padre Pio, teach me to love the cross. Your heartfelt expression of faith helps this message reach more souls who desperately need to discover these hidden treasures. Today, I'm going to reveal to you 9 extraordinary things that happen in the spiritual realm every single time your lips touch that sacred wood and the image of the crucified Christ. These aren't just beautiful thoughts or pious reflections. These are spiritual realities that Padre Pio himself experienced and taught, backed by centuries of church wisdom and the testimonies of countless saints. Each time your lips meet the crucifix, something powerful stirs in heaven. Angels take notice. Saints lean in with attention. The very wounded heart of our Savior beats faster with joy. But perhaps most importantly, your own soul receives graces that can transform not just your day, but your entire life. Are you ready to discover what really happens when you kiss a crucifix with genuine faith? Are you prepared to understand why this sacred act has the power to move mountains, heal hearts, and open doors that seemed forever closed? Then stay with me, because what you're about to learn might just change the way you see that crucifix hanging on your wall forever. These 9 revelations come from the deep spiritual wisdom of Padre Pio, a man who lived so close to Christ that he bore his very wounds. Let's discover together the hidden power that lies within this profound expression of love. The first thing that happens when you kiss a crucifix with sincere devotion is that you create a spiritual fortress around yourself that demons cannot penetrate. Every time your lips touch that sacred image, you're making a silent profession of faith. You're saying without words, I believe in you, Jesus, who gave your life for me. The devil, who despises this devotional act above almost all others, retreats in fury because he knows your lips have just united with the sign of his ultimate defeat. The cross is the banner that conquered him, and when you kiss it, you clothe yourself with that very victory. Padre Pio used to say, the devil trembles before the cross, but he flees when a soul loves it and kisses it with confidence. Think about this for a moment. In our daily lives, we face countless spiritual battles we don't even realize are happening. Negative thoughts that seem to come from nowhere, sudden waves of despair or anger, temptations that feel overwhelming. But when you begin your day by kissing a crucifix, you're donning spiritual armor that the enemy cannot break through. This isn't wishful thinking or religious fantasy. This is the same power that drove demons from the possessed, that made evil spirits cry out in terror at the sight of Christ. When you kiss the crucifix, you're invoking that same authority, that same divine protection. Many faithful souls have discovered that keeping a blessed crucifix close to their heart and kissing it regularly creates an atmosphere of peace in their lives that's hard to explain but impossible to deny. Problems that once seemed insurmountable begin to find solutions. Relationships that were filled with conflict start to heal. The very air around you seems cleaner, lighter, more filled with hope. But remember, this protection isn't magic. It's faith in action. It's your heart reaching out to touch the pierced heart of Christ and his loving response with waves of grace and protection. The more sincere your devotion, the more powerful this spiritual barrier becomes. This is just the beginning. As powerful as this protection is, there are 8 more incredible things that happen when you kiss a crucifix. Each one builds upon the last, creating a cascade of divine blessings that can transform your entire spiritual life. The second grace that flows from kissing a crucifix is perhaps even more beautiful than the first. You attract the mercy of Christ upon your sins. In that kiss, there's an act of contrition, a desire to repair, to console the Lord who suffered so much for you. Saint Teresa of Avila taught that kissing the crucifix with devotion is like telling Jesus, "Forgive me, I love you, I don't want to offend you anymore." And what does Christ do? He pours drops of his precious blood upon your soul, washing away venial sins, strengthening your heart against temptations like a gentle rain of mercy that renews your entire being. You see, we carry so much spiritual dust from our daily lives, small compromises with our conscience, little moments of selfishness, words spoken in impatience, thoughts that drift toward vanity or judgment. These venial sins don't damn us, but they cloud our relationship with God like dust on a beautiful painting. When you kiss the crucifix, it's as if Jesus takes a cloth dipped in his own blood and gently wipes away that spiritual dust. Your soul becomes brighter, cleaner, more transparent to his love. The connection between your heart and his becomes stronger and clearer. But here's what's truly remarkable. This cleansing happens not because of your worthiness, but because of his infinite love. Every kiss you place on that sacred wood is received by Christ as an offering of love that moves his compassionate heart to pour out forgiveness. It doesn't matter how many times you've fallen, how many small failures weigh on your conscience. Padre Pio himself experienced this daily renewal through his devotion to the cross. Despite bearing the wounds of Christ and living a life of extraordinary holiness, he still approached the crucifix each day like a child seeking his Father's forgiveness and love. This is the beautiful mystery of divine mercy. It's always flowing, always available, always ready to cleanse and renew. The crucifix becomes like a wellspring of grace where you can return again and again, knowing that each sincere kiss draws you closer to the purity and innocence that God desires for your soul. The third thing that happens when you kiss a crucifix is that you receive supernatural strength in the midst of your trials. Who can kiss the cross and at the same time reject suffering? When you kiss it, you're telling the Lord, "I accept my cross, unite it with yours." And that mysterious union gives you forces that don't come from you, but from him. Padre Pio used to repeat that the cross is the ladder to heaven. When you kiss it, you climb one more step on that holy ladder, and the Holy Spirit deposits in you the grace of patience and perseverance. Life has a way of bringing us to our knees, doesn't it? Financial worries that keep us awake at night, health challenges that seem too heavy to bear, relationships that have been damaged beyond what we think we can repair, family members who have walked away from faith, leaving our hearts broken. In these moments of deep struggle, kissing the crucifix becomes more than a devotional practice. It becomes a lifeline. You're not just touching wood and metal. You're connecting your suffering directly to the suffering of Christ. And in that connection, something supernatural happens. The weight doesn't necessarily disappear, but you discover you can carry it. The pain doesn't magically vanish, but you find peace in the midst of it. The problems don't solve themselves overnight, but you wake up each morning with the strength to face another day. Sarah, a mother of 4, shared how she discovered this truth during her husband's long battle with illness. She began kissing the crucifix in their bedroom each morning before facing another difficult day. She said that while the circumstances didn't change immediately, she found herself able to love more deeply, serve more cheerfully, and hope more confidently than she ever thought possible. This isn't about becoming passive in the face of difficulties. It's about receiving divine strength to face those difficulties with the same courage that carried Christ to Calvary. When you unite your small sufferings to his great suffering, they become redemptive rather than merely burdensome. The kiss on the crucifix whispers to your struggling heart, "You are not alone in this. The one who conquered death walks beside you." Many of you who are discovering the power hidden in these profound acts of faith have been asking me how to deepen your relationship with Padre Pio and learn more about his spiritual wisdom. That's why I want to share something very special with you. We've created the power of the Rosary with Padre Pio, miracles, protection, and divine graces. A spiritual treasure that will help you learn to pray the Rosary with deeper devotion, discover the miracles and testimonies of those who have already experienced its power, and understand Padre Pio's most impactful teachings about prayer. This guide includes 30 days of prayer with daily intentions to strengthen your faith, plus special prayers for protection, healing, and liberation. The Rosary was Padre Pio's great weapon, and today it can be yours too. Don't let this opportunity pass to strengthen your spiritual life with material that has already helped thousands of people. To download it, simply click the link pinned in the comments. The fourth grace that flows when you kiss a crucifix is the special protection of the Virgin Mary. She, who stood at the foot of the cross, draws near to whoever kisses the crucifix with love. It's as if the Blessed Virgin embraces you and says, "My child, I was there when he gave his life, and now I am with you as you show him your love." That kiss to the crucifix is also a kiss to Mary's tears, a consolation for her immaculate heart. This is why so many saints said that kissing the cross is also kissing the Mother who was given to us there. Mary knows what it means to stand before the cross with a heart full of love and sorrow. She understands the weight of watching someone you love suffer. She comprehends the mystery of finding hope in the midst of the deepest darkness. When you kiss the crucifix, you join her in that sacred space at the foot of the cross. Think of how natural this is. When a child is hurt or afraid, where do they run? To their mother's arms. When you kiss the crucifix, you're running to the arms of your spiritual mother, the woman Jesus gave to you as his final gift from the cross. Our Lady's protection is unlike any earthly protection. She shields your heart from despair, your mind from confusion, your soul from the snares of the enemy. Under her mantle, you find not just safety, but also the courage to love more deeply and serve more generously. Many people have discovered that homes where crucifixes are kissed regularly seem to have a special atmosphere of peace. Arguments become less frequent and less bitter. Children sleep more peacefully. Even visitors often comment on the sense of tranquility they feel. This isn't coincidence. It's Our Lady's maternal care extending over the entire household. Where the cross is loved and honored, Mary establishes her queenly reign of peace. The fifth thing that happens when you kiss a blessed crucifix is that you attract indulgences and spiritual merits. The Church grants indulgences to those who devoutly kiss a blessed crucifix, and these spiritual treasures reduce your time in purgatory, cleanse the stains from your soul, and can even be applied for the souls of the departed. Can you grasp this amazing reality? A single kiss given with love can bring relief to the holy souls who are waiting for the vision of God. The Gatran in gratitude intercede for you from purgatory, creating a beautiful cycle of spiritual communion. This teaching about indulgences might sound foreign to modern ears, but it's rooted in the profound truth of the communion of saints. We are all connected, those on earth, those in purgatory, and those in heaven. Your acts of devotion send ripples of grace throughout this mystical body. When you kiss a crucifix, you're not just gaining spiritual benefits for yourself. You're participating in the Church's treasury of merits, that vast storehouse of grace built up by Christ's infinite sacrifice and the surplus merits of Mary and all the saints. Think of it like this. Imagine if every act of love and devotion throughout history was deposited into a spiritual bank account that could be drawn upon for the benefit of souls. That's essentially what the treasury of merits represents, and kissing a crucifix with proper disposition gives you access to these accumulated graces. The souls in purgatory, who can no longer merit for themselves but can pray for others, are especially moved by such acts of devotion. They see your love for Christ crucified, and they intercede powerfully for your needs, your family, your spiritual growth. This creates a beautiful spiritual economy where no act of love is ever wasted, where even the smallest devotional practice can have effects that ripple through eternity. Your kiss on the crucifix today might be the prayer that helps release a soul into the beatific vision tomorrow. The sixth grace that flows from kissing a crucifix is that it awakens within you a burning desire for holiness. No one can look upon the crucified Christ, kiss him, and remain indifferent. That kiss is like a spark that ignites within you the voice that says, "If he loved me to the point of the cross, I must love him with my entire life." Many saints began their journeys of conversion with a heartfelt moment before a crucifix. That kiss can be the beginning of a sincere confession, of a more intense prayer life, of a radical change toward God. When your lips touch that sacred image, you're brought face to face with the greatest love story ever told. Here is God himself, choosing to suffer and die rather than lose you to sin and death. Here is perfect love, making itself vulnerable to the worst that humanity could offer, all for the sake of your salvation. How can you encounter such love and remain unchanged? The kiss becomes a moment of decision, a crossroads where you must choose between continuing in mediocrity or answering the call to become the saint God created you to be. This awakening doesn't usually come as a dramatic, overwhelming experience. More often, it's like dawn breaking slowly over your soul. You begin to notice things that once seemed acceptable now making you uncomfortable. You find yourself hungering for prayer in ways you never did before. Scripture verses that you've heard 100 times suddenly leap off the page with new meaning. You start seeing your daily choices through the lens of love. Instead of asking, "What do I want to do?" you begin asking, "What would please him?" Instead of seeking your own comfort and convenience, you find yourself drawn to small sacrifices, little acts of service that no one notices but mean everything to the loving heart of Jesus. This desire for holiness isn't a burden, it's the most liberating force in the universe. It frees you from the exhausting pursuit of worldly satisfaction and opens your heart to the joy that can only come from living in harmony with your deepest purpose: to know, love, and serve God. The seventh thing that occurs when you kiss a crucifix is that you receive light in your darkness. The cross becomes a lighthouse that illuminates in the middle of the night. When you kiss the crucified in moments of anguish, confusion, or loneliness, he responds with an interior grace that calms, guides, and brings peace. Padre Pio used to advise kissing the crucifix during nights of spiritual storm, because that devotional act works like a key that opens the door of trust. In those moments when life feels overwhelming, when decisions seem impossible, when the future appears completely uncertain, the crucifix becomes your guiding star. We all face seasons of spiritual darkness. Times when prayer feels empty, when God seems distant, when faith itself becomes difficult. These dark nights of the soul are not signs of God's absence. They're invitations to deeper trust, opportunities to love Him even when we can't feel His presence. When you kiss the crucifix during these difficult times, you're making an act of pure faith. You're saying, even though I can't see clearly, even though I don't understand what's happening, I trust in your love. And that trust, expressed through such a meaningful act, becomes a magnet for divine light. The light that comes doesn't always arrive as dramatic revelation or sudden clarity about complex situations. More often, it's a gentle illumination that helps you see your next step, or a quiet peace that allows you to rest in uncertainty, knowing that you're held in loving hands. Sometimes this light comes through the words of a friend who calls at just the right moment. Sometimes it's through a scripture passage that suddenly speaks to your exact situation. Sometimes it's simply an inexplicable sense that everything will be okay, even though nothing in your circumstances has changed. The crucifix reminds you that even the darkest Friday in history was followed by Easter Sunday. When you kiss it in your moments of darkness, you're participating in the faith of all those who have walked this path before you, who have discovered that no night lasts forever when Christ is your companion. The eighth grace that flows from kissing a crucifix is that you extend protection over your home and loved ones. A blessed crucifix is a powerful sacramental, and when you kiss it, that devotional act becomes a silent plea for Christ's blood to cover your family. There are countless testimonies from saints and faithful souls who tell of receiving protection from accidents, illnesses, and dangers through their devotion to kissing the cross with faith. It becomes a spiritual umbrella that extends over those who live with you. When you kiss the crucifix in your home, you're inviting Christ to be the head of your household in the most tangible way possible. You're acknowledging that your family needs divine protection from the spiritual battles raging around us every day. Battles most of us don't even realize are happening. Think about the unseen dangers your family faces daily. The cultural influences trying to pull your children away from faith. The temptations threatening your marriage. The financial pressures that could drive your family apart. The health concerns that keep you awake at night worrying. The relationships that have grown cold or hostile. When you kiss the crucifix regularly, especially if you make it a family practice, you're building a wall of prayer around your household. You're creating an atmosphere where grace can flow more freely, where peace can take root more deeply, where love can flourish more abundantly. Michael, a father of 3 teenagers, began kissing the crucifix in their family room each evening before dinner. He didn't make a big announcement about it. He simply made it part of his routine. Within months, he noticed that family arguments became less frequent and less intense. His teenagers, who had been growing increasingly distant, began staying home more often and engaging in deeper conversations. Was this a miracle? In one sense, yes. It was the miracle of grace working quietly in the ordinary moments of family life. The crucifix had become a channel through which Christ's presence filled their home, creating an environment where hearts could heal and relationships could flourish. The 9th and most profound thing that happens every time you kiss a crucifix is that you unite yourself to the very act of love that Christ performed on the cross. That kiss is real participation in His self-giving. It's as if for an instant you place your heart next to His, in that eternal moment where everything was consummated. What happens in heaven when a soul kisses the cross with love? Angels and saints bow down because they recognize that devotional act as an echo of the same love that saved the world. This isn't mere symbolism or beautiful poetry. When you kiss the crucifix with sincere devotion, you're entering into the mystery of redemption itself. You're not just remembering what happened 2,000 years ago. You're participating in that timeless act of love that transcends all history. Think of the most profound moments of union you've experienced in your life. The moment you first held your child, the day you said "I do" to your spouse, the instant you felt God's presence so strongly that it took your breath away. The kiss on the crucifix creates a union even deeper than these, because it connects your finite love with infinite love. In that moment, your small act of devotion becomes caught up in Christ's perfect offering to the Father. Your imperfect love is purified and magnified by His perfect love. Your limited human heart is expanded to touch the limitless heart that loved us to the end. This union transforms everything. It transforms your understanding of suffering, no longer meaningless pain, but participation in redemption. It transforms your understanding of love, no longer just human affection, but a share in divine love. It transforms your understanding of yourself, no longer just a struggling sinner, but a beloved child called to intimate communion with God. When you kiss the crucifix, heaven and earth meet in your heart. The eternal enters time through your heartfelt act of faith. The infinite God responds to your finite devotion with infinite love. And in that exchange, you become who you were always meant to be, a living prayer, a walking tabernacle, a heart beating in rhythm with the wounded heart of Christ. My dear brother, my dear sister, how many times do we have a crucifix hanging on our wall, kept in a drawer, forgotten in a corner? Today I invite you to take it, contemplate it, and kiss it with your whole heart. This isn't magic or superstition. It's faith, it's love, it's union with Christ. Make this your daily practice. Kiss the crucifix each morning when you wake up, each night before you sleep, during trials, in moments of joy. Let your lips learn to seek in the cross the wellspring of peace, of comfort, and of salvation. These 9 graces that flow from such a meaningful devotion reveal the incredible love God has for you. Protection from evil, forgiveness of sins, strength in suffering, Mary's maternal care, spiritual treasures, the call to holiness, light in darkness, family protection, and perfect union with Christ. All of this available to you through a kiss given with faith. Padre Pio, who loved the cross so deeply that he bore its wounds in his own flesh, knew that nothing is too small when offered with love to Jesus. He understood that our God is so great that He can work miracles through the simplest acts of devotion, and so humble that He delights in our smallest expressions of love. If these revelations have touched your heart, write "thank you" in the comments. Your heartfelt expression of gratitude helps this message reach more souls who need to discover the hidden power of the cross. Share this video with someone who needs these graces in their life right now. We are building a community of faith here, a family united by our love for Christ and our devotion to the saints who show us the way. By liking this video, sharing it with others, and subscribing to our channel, you're helping us spread these life-changing truths to hearts around the world that desperately need hope. May the kiss you give to your crucifix today become a bridge between your heart and the Sacred Heart of Jesus. May Padre Pio, who knew so well the power hidden in love for the cross, intercede for you and help you discover in this sacred practice a source of strength, peace, and joy that will transform your entire life. Your cross is waiting for your kiss of love.